my mother sent about $47,000 to a man who didn't exist. 14 months of wire transfers to someone calling himself Colonel James Whitfield, a widowed army officer stationed in Syria. When I found out, I didn't handle it well. I yelled. She yelled back. She told me I didn't understand love. She told me to mind my own business. So I went home and started tracing the money. That part, at least, I knew how to do. I'm a forensic accountant. I work at a mid-size firm in Portland. The job is mostly staring at spreadsheets until something doesn't add up, then pulling the thread until the whole sweater unravels. It's tedious. I'm good at it. My mother, Linda, retired from teaching elementary school 2 years ago. 31 years in the same district. She's the kind of woman who sends birthday cards to the postal carrier. After Dad died, heart attack 4 years ago, in the garage on a Tuesday, she got quiet. I visited every Sunday. I'd bring groceries, we'd eat together. I'd notice the house was a little dustier each time. She started spending a lot of time on her iPad, which I told myself was fine. Facebook groups, recipe videos. What I didn't know, 6 months after Dad died, a man with a military profile picture had sent her a friend request. Silver hair, dress uniform. Bio said he was widowed, 1 daughter, stationed overseas. He told her she was beautiful. He told her she reminded him of his late wife. My mother, still sleeping on one side of a bed meant for 2, believed him. The messages went on for months before the money started. Good morning texts, sunset photos, from the base, conversations about grief and God and starting over. I first noticed something during a Sunday dinner. Mum mentioned needing to help a friend with a shipping issue. I didn't think about it. A week later, she asked me, too casually, how wire transfers worked. I should have pushed harder right then. I didn't. I told myself she was just curious. That's the thing about denial. It's not dramatic. You just don't ask the follow-up question. A few weeks later, while she was making coffee, I checked her iPad. I'm not proud of that. But what I found was worse than what I'd imagined. Thousands of messages, a whole constructed life. James had a daughter named Sophie in nursing school, a commanding officer blocking his retirement paperwork, a military pension frozen by a clerical error, and he needed money. $2,000 for Sophie's tuition, $5,000 for legal fees, $8,000 for medical treatment after a convoy attack. Each time a story so detailed it could have been serialized. I pulled her bank statements. $47,200 over 14 months. Her teacher's pension savings. All of it. The confrontation was awful. She didn't believe me. Not because the evidence was weak, because believing me meant everything she'd felt for over a year was fake. That the man who'd helped her grieve was the reason she needed to grieve again. She chose the lie. I left. I sat in her driveway and called my brother Mark. He said, "Let it go. She's old. It's her money." I hung up. For about a week, I didn't do anything. I went to work. I came home. I couldn't stop thinking about it, but I also couldn't figure out what the move was. Call the police? And say what? My 63-year-old mother voluntarily wired money to a boyfriend. On a Friday night, I opened my laptop and started doing what I do at work. following the money. Not because I had a plan, because I didn't know what else to do with the anger. I started with the profile photos, reverse image search. Colonel James Whitfield was actually a retired Italian dentist named Marco, whose pictures had been scraped off his personal blog. I screenshotted everything. The money trail was more interesting. Mom had wired funds to 3 different accounts, one domestic, one in Malaysia, one in Nigeria. I mapped the routing numbers and intermediary banks. The domestic account belonged to a Shell LLC in Houston called Global Military Benefits Consulting. Registered agent, a 29-year-old named Derek Okonkwo. His LinkedIn said he worked at a cell phone store. That's where a normal person would have stopped and handed it to the authorities. I almost did. But I also knew that the FBI gets hundreds of thousands of internet fraud complaints a year, and most of them go in a pile and stay there. I wanted to give them something they couldn't ignore. This is the part where I did something ethically questionable. I created a fake Facebook profile. Margaret, 59, widowed nurse from Phoenix. I joined the military spouse support groups where Mum had been targeted. Within 4 days, Colonel Whitfield reached out. For 3 weeks, I was Margaret. I mirrored my mother's patterns, enthusiastic, trusting, a little lonely. I documented every message, but I also looked at things my mother wouldn't have thought to check. The response times clustered between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. West African time. The English was formal in a way that suggested someone taught it in school, not at home. And twice he sent me messages clearly meant for other women. Different names, same pitch, nearly identical phrasing. Those accidental messages gave me names. I found 4 of the other women on Facebook. Reaching out to them was delicate. How do you tell a stranger that the man she loves is a fraud? And also, could she please give you a statement? 3 of them talked to me. 1 called me a liar and blocked me. The 3 who responded had stories that matched my mother's almost word for word. Different colonel names, same LLC. I put it all in a report. 47 pages. Transaction records, routing analysis, the shell company docs, victim statements, the fake profile correspondence. I formatted it like the fraud reports I do for work. Sourced, cited, cross-referenced. Probably over-formatted it. I'm like that. I submitted it to the FBI's IC3 portal. Then I sent a copy directly to the Houston Field Office, Financial Crimes Unit, with a cover letter noting that documented losses across 7 victims exceeded $280,000. Then I waited, and called, and waited, and called again. Every Tuesday for about 6 weeks, always voicemail. I left the same message each time, polite, with my number. I started to think it was pointless. Then one Tuesday, a woman picked up, Agent Torres. "You're the accountant," she said. "We've been looking at your file." She didn't say anything dramatic. She asked a few follow-up questions, said they were evaluating. I felt less hopeful than I thought I would. 4 months later, Derek Okonkwo and 2 associates were arrested in Houston. The FBI found 14 phones in their apartment, each running a different identity. Active conversations with over 40 women across 12 states. About $1.2 million in documented theft. Derek pleaded guilty to federal wire fraud, 7 years. His associates got 5 and 4. The investigation led to some international cooperation that I don't know the details of. Torres mentioned additional actions, but didn't elaborate. Of my mother's $47,000, we recovered about $11,000 through the bank fraud process. Not even a quarter. Most of it was gone, converted and scattered through channels I couldn't follow. Recovery from a romance scam isn't like other crimes. There's no moment where the victim feels avenged. When I showed Mum the arrest report, the apartment full of phones, the mugshots, the other victims, she didn't look satisfied. She looked small. She cried, but differently than before. She said, "He wasn't real." Then, after a while, I knew. Part of me knew. I don't think that's true, but I didn't argue. I didn't get my mother's money back. What I got was 3 men in federal prison and the specific, unsatisfying knowledge that they won't do this to anyone else. For a while, at least. Mum's doing better. She joined a grief support group, a real one, in person at the community centre. She's seeing a guy from her church named Phil. I looked him up. He's real, lives locally, has a verifiable history of being an actual human being. I didn't tell Mum I checked. She probably knows. The thing people ask me is whether it was worth it. 4 months of my life. The fake profile. The weekly calls to an FBI office that wasn't calling back. The report that took 200 hours. I don't know. My mother lost $47,000 and a year of believing someone loved her. She got back $11,000 and an arrest report. The math doesn't balance. It never was going to. But the guy who did it to her is sitting in a federal facility right now, and every time I think about that, the math matters a little less. Subscribe. New story every week.